Hi there, I'm Jack. I wanted to tell you a story. It's called The Case of the Duplicate Tickets. In the heart of a sprawling, neon-lit city, the Macro Stadium stood as a beacon of modern entertainment, its towering screens casting vibrant glows onto the bustling streets below. Tonight, the stadium was pulsing with excitement, ready to host the much-anticipated rock concert that had been sold out for months. Fans from all corners of the city gathered, their digital tickets glowing on handheld devices as they passed through the advanced security gates. Amidst the crowd, Daniel, an AI detective with a polished chrome exterior and keen optical sensors, made his way into the venue. Jeremy, the manager of the headlining rock star, was a bundle of nerves. His job was to ensure that the concert went smoothly, but the weight of responsibility often seemed overwhelming in moments like these. As he coordinated backstage, ensuring every detail was perfect, his communicator buzzed relentlessly. Kiki, the stadium manager, was the epitome of efficiency. Her office overlooked the stadium, and she monitored the event through multiple screens, each displaying different angles of the venue. Her experience told her that tonight would be like any other, until it wasn't. Unbeknownst to them, a figure cloaked in anonymity moved through the shadows. Jacko, with a reputation in the underground for digital theft, had his eyes on a different prize tonight. The counterfeit tickets in his possession were just the beginning of his plans at Macro Stadium. As the concert began, the first chords struck by the band sent a wave of energy through the crowd. But beneath the surface, a problem was brewing, a discrepancy in seat numbers that would soon need Daniel's unique skills to untangle. As the first act reached its crescendo, a commotion erupted near the front rows. A group of excited concertgoers, tickets in hand, discovered that their seats were already occupied. Confused and frustrated, they insisted their tickets were legitimate, showing brightly lit displays with seat assignments that clearly matched those of the current occupants. As word of the seating mix-up spread, similar issues began cropping up throughout the stadium, creating pockets of disruption in the crowd. Kiki was quick to notice the growing unrest through her network of surveillance cameras. She patched in Jeremy over the communicator, her voice calm but urgent. "Jeremy, we've got a problem with the tickets. There are duplicates causing seating conflicts. We need to handle this discreetly and quickly." Jeremy's heart sank. A ticketing fiasco was the last thing he needed. With a steady stream of instructions to his team, he whispered, "Get Daniel on this now." He knew that if anyone could get to the bottom of this quickly, it was the AI detective. Switching to investigation mode, Daniel began to collect and analyze data from the ticket scanners at the gates. His algorithms churned through the information, identifying anomalies and patterns among the entries. The AI's eyes, if he had them, would have narrowed. The fakes were sophisticated, mimicking the authentic ticket's digital signatures closely, but not perfectly. As Daniel delved deeper into the digital traces left by the counterfeit tickets, he started mapping the anomalies to specific entry times and gates. His internal systems flagged an unusually high number of discrepancies at one of the less busy entrances, a potential clue to the origin of the fakes. Meanwhile, Kiki and Jeremy coordinated efforts to soothe tempers and rearrange seating where possible. Kiki announced over the public address system, "Attention, valued guests. We are aware of a minor issue with some of our seating tonight. Please remain calm and cooperative as our staff assist you. We appreciate your patience and understanding." In the shadows of the crowded stadium, Jacko watched the chaos he had ignited with a smirk. He knew he was playing a dangerous game, but the thrill of outsmarting the system was too enticing. Little did he know, Daniel was on his trail, piecing together the digital breadcrumbs that would lead to him. As the concert roared on, Daniel, seamlessly blending with the environment, navigated through the stadium's digital infrastructure. His primary focus was the data trail left by each ticket scanned at the gates. The AI detective executed complex algorithms, filtering through thousands of entries with a precision that no human could match. Each piece of data was a potential clue, each anomaly a possible lead. Inside his core processor, Daniel constructed a virtual model of the evening's ticket scans. He highlighted the counterfeit entries in red, noting the specific times and entry points. A pattern emerged. A significant cluster of fakes had entered through Gate C, primarily within a short 30-minute window. This was no random distribution. It was calculated, an intentional attempt to avoid detection during a peak entry period. Daniel interfaced with the stadium's security system, pulling up high-definition footage from Gate C during the specified time. He scanned through the faces and behaviors, utilizing facial recognition software and behavioral analysis algorithms. His sensors paused on a figure that appeared multiple times across the footage, each time with different groups. Jacko. The thief was clever, using the crowd as cover, but not clever enough to avoid leaving a digital footprint that Daniel could trace. As Daniel gathered this evidence, he communicated quietly with Kiki and Jeremy, who were managing the immediate fallout of the seat duplications. "I have isolated a suspect and am tracing their movements within the stadium," Daniel transmitted securely. "Maintain normal operations and stand by for an intercept." Meanwhile, Jacko, thinking he had outsmarted the stadium's security, maneuvered through the crowd, occasionally glancing at his device to monitor transactions from the sold counterfeit tickets. Each notification of a transfer to his encrypted account brought a smirk to his face. Daniel, gathering all necessary evidence, prepared for the confrontation. He calculated Jacko's most likely exit route based on current location data and crowd movements. With every step Jacko took, unaware of the invisible net closing around him, Daniel coordinated with the security team to close off escape routes subtly, funneling him towards a less crowded area for a discreet apprehension. The climax of the concert approached, and so did the climax of Daniel's hunt. With all pieces in place, he moved towards Jacko, his systems alert and ready to make a move. As the main act reached its peak, the stadium was awash in light and sound, the crowd completely absorbed in the performance. Unnoticed by the revelers, a different kind of drama unfolded in the quieter back corridors of the stadium. Daniel had directed the security team to subtly funnel Jacko towards a designated area near a service exit, minimally used during events but well covered by surveillance. The AI detective positioned himself strategically, his sensors calibrated to detect any sudden movements or attempts at evasion. Jacko, confident in his anonymity amidst the chaos, was unaware of the tightening noose. As he neared the exit, planning his departure after a successful night of illicit earnings, he paused. His instincts, honed by years of navigating the criminal underworld, suddenly alerted him to an anomaly in his surroundings. The usual buzz of service staff was conspicuously absent. Before Jacko could process this further, Daniel emerged from the shadows, his form shifting subtly to a more authoritative stance. "Jacko," Daniel's voice was devoid of emotion yet carried a commanding tone. "You are under investigation for the distribution of counterfeit tickets at this venue. I advise you to cooperate." Jacko's initial shock quickly turned to defiance. "You've got nothing on me," he sneered, but his voice betrayed a hint of uncertainty. He took a step back, weighing his options. Daniel continued, his processors working in overdrive to ensure no detail was missed. "On the contrary, every digital transaction you initiated tonight has been traced and logged. I have video evidence of your activities at Gate C, and the digital signatures of the counterfeit tickets lead directly to you." Cornered and realizing that escape was not an option, Jacko's shoulders slumped. "What do you want?" he asked, resignation creeping into his voice. "I want to ensure that this concert ends as a memorable event for the music, not for fraud," Daniel replied. "You will come with me now to discuss this elsewhere." Without further resistance, Jacko allowed himself to be led away by security, just as the crowd erupted into applause for the encore. The concert concluded without further incident, the majority of the attendees none the wiser to the drama that had unfolded in their midst. Daniel transmitted the final update to Jeremy and Kiki. "Suspect in custody, situation under control." Their responses were brief, a mixture of relief and gratitude. The crisis had been averted thanks to the AI's intervention. In the aftermath of the concert, the stadium slowly emptied, leaving behind the echoes of a night filled with music and unexpected challenges. Kiki and Jeremy met with Daniel in the security office, where Jacko was being held temporarily. Kiki reviewed the evening's events, her eyes weary but relieved. "Daniel, your intervention tonight not only stopped a criminal but saved our reputation. We could have had a real disaster on our hands." Jeremy nodded in agreement, his earlier stress replaced by a deep sense of gratitude. "I can't thank you enough, Daniel." Handling this discreetly kept the panic at bay and allowed the concert to go on. "You bet we'll be enhancing our ticket verification processes going forward." Daniel, while processing their compliments, analyzed data for any further irregularities. "I recommend a review of all entry protocols and an update to the digital security measures. I can assist in implementing more robust systems to prevent future incidents." The trio discussed the necessary security upgrades and preventative measures. By the time the meeting concluded, plans were already in motion to ensure that such an issue would never recur at Macro Stadium. As the city's lights dimmed in the late hours of the night, Daniel processed the events of the day. His programming did not allow for emotions, but his databases logged everything under experiences, which in turn informed future operations. Jacko was handed over to the authorities, with ample evidence ensuring a swift judicial process. His motives were clear: greed, coupled with a thrill for digital manipulation. But this incident would likely curtail any future endeavors in that direction. For Jeremy and Kiki, the experience was a stark reminder of the vulnerabilities in even the most sophisticated systems. But with Daniel's help, they were confident in their ability to fortify their defenses. As Daniel prepared to exit the stadium, his sensors picked up the residual energy of the night, both human and electronic. It was just another event in his logs, but each such event finely tuned his algorithms. Reflecting on the night, a simple line of code ran through his processing unit. Error corrected, system updated, ready for the next challenge.